What if I told you there's a drill you can practice that is gonna make you go from this to this? Let's get into it. This is probably going to be the weirdest foil video that you will ever watch in your life, and I apologize for the weird angle, but I was kind of sick and tired of editing videos. So yes, I'm going to show some cinematic slow motions, but here I am with this little model showing you the drill that you need to practice if you want to go from anaerobic pumping, so pumping fully with your body and being exhausted after 30 seconds, to pumping anaerobically and being able to pump for more than 2, 5, 10 minutes. Of course, if you have the right foil, right? And no, this video is not sponsored by anybody, but this is a Ketos set, right? Virtually. Anyways, this is my little set. This is the surface of the water, and this is you, all right? Hopefully you have a more normal shape than this guy, but it is what it is, right? My drawing skills are not great, as you can see. Anyways, there are 3 main reasons why you should practice the pump and glide drill. Finally, yes, I've mentioned this drill already in past videos, but I cannot stress enough on the importance of this drill. No matter you're at the beginning, you just nailed the Dockstart, no matter you're stuck at 30 seconds or at 1 minute, or maybe you're even more advanced, but you are trying new gear and you cannot progress with a smaller wing, for example, well, the pump and glide drill is the solution to all these problems. So stick around, because you're gonna solve those problems, right? So why should you practice the pump and glide drill? So there are 3 main reasons. So if I don't buy you, if you're not sold on the first reason, maybe you're gonna be convinced in the other 2 reasons, right? I cannot even count anymore. The first reason, the first thing that you're gonna develop thanks to this drill is the feel for the water. What do I mean by that? We always hear that we need to feel what's going on, to feel the water, but what does that mean in practice? So if you just are on your foil, right, and you just press, for example, with your front leg, which is what your brain tells to do at the beginning, you're never gonna be able to pump efficiently, because if you just press, you're pressing with your front leg, for example, and there is nothing there. So you're just gonna go down, down, and down. Yes, maybe you have an efficient foil, a beginner foil, and somehow you're going to be able to go on, but I can tell you that you're just wasting energy, so you're probably going to stall, stop, or fall after 30 seconds. So if you're stuck at the 30-second mark, that's probably why, and what you need to do in that stage is the pump and glide drill, right? And if you're stuck at the minute, it's the same thing. Maybe you are using evenly your legs, but again, you're not using the right technique, because otherwise you would probably not be stuck there, right? So what you need to do, how the pump and glide drill develop your feel for the water? Because again, if you just do whatever and you don't think about what was going on below your feet, how do you think you can understand the foil, right? You have to understand that the foil decides what to do, not the rider, right? Because if you let the foil glide, the foil wants to glide like a glider. It's like designed for it. So we just have to be on the foil in such a way that we relieve our weight off the board when the foil wants to rise, and we apply a slight pressure when we can, right? Because the foil always wants to rise, but we cannot always rise, we cannot always go up, because it's not physically possible, we cannot fly, right? So we need to go up when the foil is in the condition to go up, and then we need to go down with our legs to do this little half squat when the foil is more prone to allow us to do that, so that then we can hop again in the next pump. That's all what pump foiling is about, right? The reason why this drill develops the feel for the water is because suddenly, instead of just trying to go as far as possible for as much time as possible, you are actually understanding and you're slowing down. You're slowing things down because you need to pump and glide, as the name says, right? So you're pumping and then you glide, and these 2-3 seconds when you glide are gonna give you the opportunity of feeling the foil instead of just pressing randomly, right? And this is pretty much why you're gonna develop a better feel for the water. Then, the other reason why you should practice this drill is because you're gonna develop an efficient glide, right? So foiling is all about gliding, because if you cannot even glide straight, glide efficiently without pumping, how can you be able to be efficient while pumping? It's simply not possible, right? So, of course, it goes without saying that the straighter you are gliding, the longer the glide. Because if you are maybe too much in front, you're gonna go down, so you're gonna lose height sooner than you lose speed. And on the other hand, if your weight is too much towards the back, you're gonna lose speed before you lose height, right? So we wanna find the balance. We wanna find the position, not only the feet placement, because it's not only about feet placement, it's also about how you distribute your weight on your feet. But you wanna find the balance between front and back so that you can glide straight without losing much height and without losing much speed. So ideally, you should lose speed sooner than height. Because if you don't have height and you don't have speed, you cannot recover. But if you don't have speed but you have height, you still have an opportunity to recover. All right? That is why you need to practice this drill and try and glide as far as possible without losing much height. And the third and most important reason why you should practice this drill is because you're gonna get the right timing and the right weight distribution, which is all what pump foiling at the end of the day is about. Because if you haven't got the right timing and you're hoping when you shouldn't hope, and then you're applying pressure on the board when you're not supposed to, then the foil doesn't understand what's going on and is not gonna have the right angle and the right weight on it. But, and it's the same goes with the weight shift, right? Because if you just hope, but you hope like this, so you relieve your weight off the board, but you don't also shift it towards the front, you're gonna relieve it, but then the foot is gonna angle, is gonna pitch up too much, and then you're not gonna be able to pitch it down smoothly for the descending phase. So, if you do this drill, if you practice this drill, you're gonna put yourself in a situation where you have no speed. Because if you do the dock start, or maybe you're practicing behind a boat or something, you're gonna generate speed with the dock or with the boat. So you're not gonna understand how to generate speed on your own. And that's a problem. Because if you just try and keep the speed, you're gonna think that you're doing well, but you're actually not doing well, and you're just going on for 20, 30, 50 meters just because you got that speed in the first place with a third force. On the other hand, no matter if you're behind a boat, no matter if you are using a foil drive, or if you started with the dock start or whatever, if you pump and glide, you're gonna necessarily lose height and speed. And you have to gain back that height and speed if you want to keep going, because it's called pump and glide and pump and glide and pump and glide, not pump and glide and stop, right? At the beginning it's going to be pump and glide and stop, but your goal is to practice this drill over and over and over so that you really develop the right timing and the right weight shift. But what is the right timing and the right weight shift, and why this drill is such a good way to develop these things? Because when you have no height and speed, you cannot pitch the board a lot to make it rise. Because if you pitch it, you're gonna sink it, right? And that is why, if you have no speed and no height, you are forced to apply even pressure on your feet and lift that back heel to move your weight to the front, like this, because you cannot pitch it. You have to gain speed and height by keeping the board flat. And the way you do that is by smashing with your back foot on the mast, because that's the only place where you can add pressure. And that's where you should add pressure when you don't have any. Which, again, is not pressure, it's just using the only point where you can add pressure to relieve your weight off the board. So you're not pressing on the board, you're not pushing, you're just using the hard part to relieve your weight. and move it towards the front. And the reason why we're lifting the back heel is to move the weight in front while also relieving it off the board. That's it. And again, if you do it when you have no height and speed, you are forced to do it well, to not pitch the board up and down, because otherwise you're just gonna either stall, like this, either sink because you sink the nose. Alright? As simple as that. I hope that this was somehow clear and not too weird with this like poor stickman. Look at him. I feel kind of bad for designing it this way. But anyways, I just wanted to know that there's gonna be a link in the description for you to sign up for a camp, because I'm organizing this 5-day retreat in Cyprus for you to learn pump foiling and to really nail all what I explained so far, because this is really my maximum effort that I can do online to teach you pump foiling, right? I cannot really find a better way than this one to explain it. The next step is to only get one-on-one lessons, and if you want to escape the cold weather, the cold European weather, and pump foil where it's a bit warmer with like-minded people for 5 days, well, you can just click the link below and you can reach out to me and we can connect and see if it makes sense for you to come and enjoy some time on the water like me. And please subscribe, because I spent a lot of effort designing this beautiful foil, right? So yeah, and getting creative for this video. So please, I need some validation after all this effort, so please hit subscribe. Bye bye.